Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre, hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode, we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond. Sometimes even from the beyond. You can find us online at our new YouTube channel, Terror in Tandem, or online at terrorintandem.com, and also on Instagram at Terror in Tandem.
Heck yeah.
Just a note to the listeners out there, we are going to be on a break.
We are.
After this episode.
Okay, not with each other.
No. And we're just going to
not
take
from
a week
you,
off.
Dear listener.
We are being immersed in some black molasses treatments to try to blacken our souls even darker.
I don't. What? I will.
I didn't tell you about that.
Oh God, I am excited about our vacation to the infernal city of Dis, where we will be spending time.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be soaking in baths of molasses.
I'm looking forward specifically for, according to Dante, the part of hell reserved for flatterers, which was to be immersed in shit. But if you poked your head up, the demons would stab you with fiery, pokers.
Well, they don't do...
Which is a lot for flattery, I think. I mean, sometimes I flatter people. You just want to, make their day or make them nicer to you.
They don't do the shit anymore. Instead, they do molasses, because when you are sitting in molasses, it's really hard to move.
You speak from prior experience, I'm assuming.
Well, that's what it said on the disclosure. Are you claustrophobic? And I was like, nope, none of us are.
Are you? Because have I got an episode of a classy podcast to recommend about claustrophobia?
Where you claim to be all kinds of phobias.
I have every kind of fear-based, non-problematic phobia.
I think you can probably wrap that up into one lump sum of hypochondria.
Oh, that's it. And listen, this is a resume builder right here. If I'm not afraid of a thing, I guarantee I can become afraid of that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it. Ah, bugs. Ah, shadows.
So we're going to do some December coming attractions for you to get you warm and wassily.
The weather outside is frightful. Frightful.
And it's also frightful inside.
And nothing at all is delightful.
We're not going to sing this episode.
I'm very excited.
But
with
just a little teaser, speaking of coming attractions, one of our upcoming episodes, we may be singing the entire episode.
That's true. It's definitely a thing that I'm really looking forward to, honestly. I can't believe Stephen Sondheim wrote back to us from beyond.
From the beyond.
No disrespect intended. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about what's coming out and what to recommend and what to do in an otherwise dismal, freezing, horrible month. But
that's not true.
I do like the holidays. I do.
This is a warm and wonderful month filled with love.
That was very Northern Hemisphere centric of me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mean, we're going all over the place.
I'm sure
the molasses baths will be warm.
I am personally wearing about 6 sweaters at the moment because I have...
He has a condition, everybody.
I'm not saying... Fair enough. But I don't know what it is. I don't tolerate cold. And I've proven this to you.
Also put a disclaimer in that we are recording this from one of our luxury properties.
Oh, it's an ice castle.
The 3-season porch of that property. And guess what? The season that is excluded from the 4 seasons is the season that we're in and recording from.
Nice.
The 3-season porch. So 3 seasons, this recording space is really delightful.
It's the new 4 seasons, everyone. So why don't we get into it?
I wonder if that's why they named it 4 seasons.
Because there are 4 seasons. You can stay there all year.
Right. It's like
perfect all the
year.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. Or just expensive all the time. I don't know.
I mean, a 4 seasons is nice.
I guess. I don't think I've ever been.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
If I have, I've probably been asked to leave.
You have probably been there for some kind of
Maybe work.
I don't know, medical discovery conference of where you're like, I have ailments.
Ooh, a new thing. I have it.
Um
So anyway, getting back to Richard's disease. So what do you want me to start? Because I'm excited. So this is the time of year that things typically slow down a little bit for our beloved genre, but I was surprised that is not exactly the case for me in December. I've got a few recommendations that I am genuinely
no.
looking forward to.
To answer your question, no.
Yes.
Do you know what the question was?
Nope.
Do you want me to start?
Should I start?
I mean, you already did.
I will start now. And my first one is, I'm going to start with coming out on Shudder. Oh, beloved Shudder. December 8th is Jen Wexler, rising star Jen Wexler's follow-up to the surprisingly good The Ranger. We're talking The Sacrifice Game. Now, okay.
It's up my alley.
I was skeptical when I looked at the cast because there was a movie that came out earlier this year that tried, I think, a similar premise, fun and games, of taking an actor you really wouldn't expect and putting them in a villainous role. And for me, sometimes that can really work and sometimes it really doesn't. So I'm bringing that up because this movie stars Mina Massoud as, Aladdin himself, as the leader of a cult or gang. Now, I'm going based mostly off the trailer, which is pretty damn good, actually. So he's leading some sort of violent gang that has been invading homes. This takes place in the 70s, by the way. Has been invading homes in 1971 and killing people. But the twist is these are ritualistic killings. So the protagonists of the film are three girls, two students and one chaperone, are stuck over the holidays at a Catholic girls' boarding school. Mm-hmm. You know, anybody familiar with boarding schools, there are always some kids who just can't travel for the holidays. So there's always a little cohort of students that get left behind. That was actually the setting for the incredible Oz Perkins film, The Black Coat's Daughter.
Oh, yeah, that was a great film.
Yeah,
with,
really.
Anna Paquin?
No, with Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts was in it.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the Anna Paquin one?
Trick or Treat?
No, that's not what I'm thinking.
Anyway, okay. We do love Anna Paquin. True Blood, you know, all good stuff. Anyway, so The Sacrifice Game, as I said, these girls, they're stuck over the holidays, so it's this cool old Catholic...
Kiernan Shipka.
Ah, yes. Now, it's this cool old, stone kind of building, like Catholic, very Gothic looking. So it's a great setting. And obviously the gang infiltrates, and it being a Jen Wexler film, if anyone's familiar with The Ranger or her short work, it's got a real punk rock vibe to it. It's a mishmash of genres. It looks like it's, black humor, action, horror. The girls definitely fight back. There is, she is
it's
really...
like a confined, a confined tight
yes.
crew.
And it has very, if anybody's seen the movie Better Watch Out, it's got kind of a similar vibe where it's definitely dark and bleak, but it's not without humor.
Yeah.
So Jen Wexler has kind of built a little specialty for herself in, having teen girls fighting back as sort of her vibe. The Ranger was very much like that. Unexpected heroes, or heroines in this case, and Mina Massoud in the trailer is kind of what won me over to it. He actually does look pretty good. And I think the fact that this movie isn't playing it totally straight probably helps a little bit. Mm-hmm. If he is a little bit campy as a villain, I think that will help him ease into the transition from how we all recognize him. It's very hard for actors to change their image in the public eye. I mean, it's only been done successfully a few times. Obviously, Henry Fonda in Once Upon a Time in the West when he played Blue Eyes. Oh my God, it's the best. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this one because I really enjoyed The Ranger. I want to see what Jen Wexler, I think she's a rising star, and I love it when an actor is able to break out of their typecasting. So I'm really rooting for this one and for Mina Masood in particular. I hope he does a good job, and I hope it's well received. It comes out December 8th on Shudder. If you are not a subscriber, you should be.
Yeah, definitely. Not a sponsor.
Not yet.
We pay cash money for our memberships.
Yeah, just like New Jack City with the Cash Money Brothers.
My first recommendation.
That's a reference everyone gets.
Listen, I'm just going to caveat my recommendations with the fact that I took very creative license with the genre,
like I did in November.
Yeah.
That's
so
fine.
You know, we're in thriller territory. Sometimes action.
Sometimes we just recommend things we're looking forward to.
Yeah. So listen,
we're not,
I am going on theme with the holidays coming up, and for December with Silent Night. Now, again, It's a little bit of a cheat because it is out in theaters, I believe, like limited release or something like that. But
okay.
It's coming December 1st.
Okay. That counts as December.
John Woo. It's a John Woo film. Starring Joel Kinnaman and Scott Mescudi, a.k.a. Kid Cudi.
Mm-hmm. Who is...
Mescudi, I guess it would be.
Anyone who has seen X knows two things about him. Number one, he's a good actor. Number two...
he's a long...
I don't think
actor.
that was a prosthetic, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he really is. Yeah.
There's nothing kid-like about him.
Or unless you're talking the size of a child. I mean, my God.
Yikes. So Joel Kinnaman plays a man who's looking for revenge after a gang shooting accidentally kills his son. The film is dialogue-free, pretty much. I mean, there's very minimal dialogue because Kinnaman's character was shot in the throat at the beginning of the film.
I can't wait.
He can't really speak.
Oh, my God.
He physically transforms himself to go into battle with this gang member, and he did many of his own stunts, and he uses his eyes and his facial expressions mostly to convey his emotions. So this is going to be an action revenge thriller.
It's a John Woo movie.
It's a John Woo movie. It's Joel Kinnaman, who's like 9,000 feet tall. He's
also,
pretty awesome.
What an opportunity for him to showcase. He's a legitimately fantastic actor.
Did all his stunts in Suicide Squad.
I can't wait to see him pull two guns out in slow motion while a flock of doves takes off behind him.
Yeah. So it's going to start out sad, but then it's going to get like gripping, and you know, I'm sure it's going to be an edge of your seat film. What else can you say about a John Woo film? It's going to be a lot of car chases, a lot of shooting, a lot of probably hand-to-hand combat.
Now, it's been tough to be a John Woo fan because he was a god in China and Hong Kong. Then he came to America, where Harvey Weinstein used and abused him, like Harvey Weinstein did. And he made some crummy movies. He made some good ones, too. But then he went back to China and made some really interesting epics like Red Cliff. And now he's coming back with his first English language film, I think, in a while.
Yeah, and
so
I said, very minimal dialogue. It's going to be a lot of action, and it's Christmas themed. So I think we can see the return of maybe knocking down some Christmas trees and ornaments and things like that. Thinking more like, is this a holiday movie or not? Similar to Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, you know, it's happening on the holidays. I mean, this is called Silent Night.
Anyone who argues against those hates Christmas. You know what? That's the real war against Christmas.
Exactly. So check it out, Silent Night.
I'm definitely checking that out. I can't goddamn wait for that.
Yeah.
Listen, just a quick aside, because this is a celebratory podcast. Being alive and being film nerds, as long as you and I have been, it's incredible to track the progress that Asian, especially Chinese and Japanese creators, filmmakers, actors have made since the 90s. This really feels like John Woo coming back on sort of a fuck you redemption arc, you know? Given the way that Hollywood treated him, I can't wait.
Yeah.
We're seeing Michelle Yeoh basically become the queen of the world that she always was.
Right.
So Next up is Chow Yun Fat.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get Chow Yun Fat there, we've got the
Jackie
trifecta.
Chan too. That reboot of
I
new
know
Karate Kid.
They're-
He and Ralph Macchio are together.
I wonder if Jaden Smith's going to show up because it's kind of merging
or
both
Hilary
of those.
Swank.
Or Hilary Swank. Yeah, they should bring everybody in.
Maybe
Have
we'll
like
see.
a Karate Kid-averse, a Karate-verse.
Yeah. So what's your next?
My next one is, you know what? Since you had a bit of a stretch, I'm going to give myself a little bit of a stretch here as well. Now, mine is a horror movie. It's called The Wait, or as it's known in its native tongue, La Espera. It's from director F. Javier Gutierrez. It's coming out December 15th in Spain. So it's coming out in the U.S. to follow. We just don't know exactly when, but it is coming out in December, again in Spain. So if you are in Spain, go watch this one. If not, you're going to have to wait just a little bit. Hopefully not too long. So I'm really excited for this one. Victor Clavijo plays a character named Eladio. He's a gamekeeper on an estate in the mountains of Spain. It's real rural stuff, far away from any cities, and he lives there with his wife and his son. Now, he takes a bribe from a poacher, and pretty quickly after doing that, horrible things start happening to him. Now, I watched the trailer. It's very good. I do recommend it. And there's a moment in the trailer where they tell him, you insulted the land that you swore to protect. So this looks like a kind of Spanish folk horror about a man who is cursed because he made a bad decision, but he betrayed the land. So it's like the earth itself is cursing him. It looks very bleak. This is, kind of a dusty, dirty, grimy looking film. There's a lot of poverty. Now, it was shot in the countryside of Sevilla. It was a passion project by the director. It describes it as his most intimate and violent film. So, violent intimacy. That's great. It's been compared to Mandy, which you've got my attention, sir. That is one of my all-time faves. So I'm really interested in this movie. It's been described as a tale of revenge, of madness. Basically, poor Eladio, as this curse tightens its grip on him, and as he desperately tries to break free, he goes, crazy. So it's his descent into madness in the Andalusian countryside, and like Black Francis said, I want to be un chien Andalusian. To grow up to be a debaser. Anyway, this is The Wait, December 15th in Spain, but U.S. to follow. La Espera, everyone.
Excellent.
Looks like it's going to be worth
Muy
the Espera.
Bueno. Do you want to take a quick break?
I think that is a fantastic idea. And we're back.
So my next, I'll just jump right in, is a movie streaming to Netflix on December 8th called Leave the World Behind.
There's a lot happening on December 8th.
I know. I believe it's already in some limited theaters. I think it came out like November 22nd.
Okay.
Just, on the coast
Who's
in the
got
big
time
cities.
for theaters?
But it's streaming on
Sorry, you should
Netflix
go to
December
theaters.
8th, and it's based on a book from 2020 written by Ruman Alam. And it's, I'll talk a little bit about both, some of the comparisons and things like that. But the film is written and directed by Sam Esmail from Mr. Robot fame.
Nice.
So it's going to be, the book is a very, strange and complicated, but also about people who are from different, ethnic backgrounds who come together under sort of a weird duress circumstance. But so in the movie, Amanda, who's played by Julia Roberts, and Clay, who's played by Ethan Hawke. So you'll hear all these big name stars are in this film. Yeah. They're in.
Ooh, I know this one.
Yeah, they're
I
rich.
just watched the trailer for it.
They're rich. They're from Brooklyn. They decide to leave the city to go to an Airbnb on Long Island just to escape everything and bring their 2 children, Archie and Rose. And halfway through their trip, it's interrupted when George Scott, Mahershala Ali,
Nice.
who's the owner of the Airbnb, shows up with his daughter Ruth, played by Mahala Harold. She's from Industry and Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So they basically come to their Airbnb and they're like, listen, there's blackouts happening in the city. We were forced to leave and we need to, be here because this is our Airbnb and this is where we need to be. But everything's so vague and there's been power outages. The families are forced to cohabitate and confront their feelings about class and race and things like that throughout the book. And I'm guessing throughout the film. So Ruth, played by Mahala Harold, she was actually a wife character in the book, but she plays a daughter character in the film. In the book, there's like a lot of unsettling, dread things that are talked about.
I like that.
People are suddenly getting ill. There's unexplained piercing noises. So the film steps it up a little bit and they show planes crashing and ships uncontrollably like beaching.
Yikes.
And cars, like self-driving cars, causing accidents. And
Oh, that would never happen in real life.
it's a cyber attack that's happening. And so it's essentially taking over and creating an apocalypse. But it really hones in on these 4 people. I mean, the kids
honestly,
are a little bit part of it, but
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love an apocalypse tale or a movie that has a small focus but a big background.
yeah, and they're confronted by things that, they're forced to confront, that maybe they have always known, that there are implicit biases and things like that that make people as complicated as they are. So I think it's going to be really interesting. The book was great. I love the book. And, I believe in Sam Esmail's work.
I'm
He's
excited.
Pretty awesome.
I'm always excited. It doesn't happen very often.
Kevin Bacon's also in this.
Nice. I wasn't, growing up, I wasn't a big fan of Julia Roberts because she wasn't in a lot of movies that really interested me. And then she was in Closer with Clive Owen and Natalie Portman.
That's a great movie.
Oh my God. And it really struck me that this woman is such a talented actor. She stars in a lot of romantic comedies and lighter fare, but every once in a while she'll do something like this, and it's always worth watching to remind yourself that Julia Roberts can fucking act.
She really can.
I'm really excited to see her.
see this too.
I haven't seen her in a thriller in a really long time.
I mean, the cast is incredible. Let's just get it straight.
No
Not just
kidding.
her, but all of them.
Mahershala Ali and
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon, that rules.
And this book came out in the fall of 2020, so it was
Scooped right up.
written prior
Yeah.
to the pandemic. I'm sure the author started writing it prior to the pandemic and probably finished it and edited it
Yeah.
during. And now we're, post height of the pandemic world watching this happen. And
I like the way you phrased that.
yeah.
I'm tired when people say post-pandemic because I'm like, oh, are we?
Yeah.
Post-peak, maybe.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So check it out.
Nice.
Netflix.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch that. Maybe we can watch it together. You and me.
Yeah. You and me.
Co-hosts, co-watchers.
You and me and Mahershala Ali.
Ooh. Blade, anytime you want to be on the pod, open invite. So, my next one is a movie that, for me...
And your last one.
It is my last one. It came a little bit out of nowhere, and it is my number one that I'm looking forward to. And that's a big one because I'm really looking forward to the last two movies I recommended. So this is director William Brent Bell, who you might know from some movies like The Boy, Orphan First Kill. He's made some really good ones. Also did The Devil Inside, which is not that good. You shouldn't watch that one. But The Boy and Orphan First Kill were pretty decent. So I'm excited about this because it looks like a bit of a departure for him. This is coming out December 8th, VOD and limited theaters, The Lord of Misrule. I'm really looking forward to this. So this is a British folk horror movie, full stop. I'm already watching it. So a British folk horror movie starring Tuppence Middleton, who plays a female priest in the Church of England, which Roman Catholics might be surprised to learn allows female priests. So she takes over a rural British parish and attends a local winter festival hosted by pagan weirdos and people in masks and spooky old people.
Say that 3 times fast. Rural.
That's a tough one.
What's the other one? Rural.
Festival?
No.
Rural British parish.
Yeah, say it 3 times.
No. So she attends
rural
this,
British parish.
She attends this festival, which is everything you want from like a harvest festival or a solstice festival. It's got weird old people saying weird things, nature, but like the darker side of nature. It looks like it's fun, but then there's an undercurrent of like, what's really going on here?
Lots of corn stalk.
Yeah, that kind
creatures.
of shit. Maypole type stuff. So anyway.
Wow, that is really up your alley.
It totally is. So at this festival, her daughter Grace goes missing. Now, local weirdo, played by my boy Ralph Ineson from The Witch, hell yeah, starts saying weird shit like, she's been taken by the woods.
Let me guess.
This god.
Nobody believes him.
Well, the town believes him, but she doesn't. She's not from there. So
Believe the local weirdo.
Now, the titular Lord of Misrule stems from British pagan beliefs, but it is a wholly original creation for this film. So the Lord of Misrule in pagan belief is described sort of as a being that would take the well-meaning faith of people and turn it into chaos, stoking strife and madness and turning people against each other. So the god in this movie, I believe, was made up straight for this movie, but it does have influence in, this 1,000-year-old tradition. So it's said to evoke Midsummer and The Wicker Man again.
Yeah, it sounds like
Full stop. I'm watching this. It's a really good trailer. I actually do recommend you watch this trailer. It doesn't give everything away. It really sets the tone. It's got Ralph Ineson saying weird things and putting on a weird mask, which, do you want more than that? I am very, very much looking forward to this. I'm really going to try and watch it as soon as it comes out because it has heavy best of vibes for me. And I want to slip it in for this year. I want to make sure I watch it as soon as possible. So December 8th on VOD, limited theaters, The Lord of Misrule. Check it out. Watch the trailer. If you like British folk horror, it's hard to see this going wrong. William Brent Bell is a director who has a lot of talent, and this looks to be, in my opinion, to be a bit of a departure for him, and I'm very excited for it.
Awesome. I won't be checking that out.
I didn't think so.
My last recommendation for December, new stuff for December, is coming out also December 8th. Again, big day.
Just take the day off, everybody.
It's a TV show. It's on Hulu, and it's a UK crime thriller.
Maybe take the 9th off, too.
Called Culprits.
Cool.
It's starring Nathan Stewart Jarrett from Candyman.
Just say it the one time.
Kirby from The Good Place. and Barry and Killing Eve.
Nice.
You know who she is?
Yeah.
Ned Dennehy from Good Omens and Peaky fucking Blinders.
Ooh.
So it's got a good cast, and I'm asking this question because this is sort of the plot: is what happens when a crew of professional thieves finish a heist and try to go on with their lives. So this show basically is jumping in on these folks who have gone their separate ways, and a killer, an assassin, is targeting the crew one by one and killing them. And so their past is catching up with them, and they're being stalked by this unknown killer. And I'm guessing they come back together. I think it's a 6 or 7 part series right now. So
And it's an interesting premise. I've always kind of
I
wondered
love
that.
a heist. Yeah.
Like,
What do you do in your normal life?
But also, what's the point? What do you do with all this money?
Exactly.
How do you spend it? How do you hide it from people? Like,
so I'm hoping that this shows a little bit of it, and it looks really great and entertaining.
pretty good cast too.
Yeah. Before we part, though, I do want to recommend some streaming holiday movies.
Oh, happy holidays,
Just really
everybody!
quick, because I know that I sort of cheated a little bit with my December recommendations, and I wanted to throw in a bonus.
I, for one, thought they were informative and delightful.
Thank you. I'm going to start with Krampus from 2015.
Shit, yeah.
You can watch it on Peacock, Hulu, or Prime.
You want to see Adam Scott and Toni Collette in a horror movie?
I was just
of course
gonna
you
say,
do.
starring
Of
them.
course you do.
Shows the dysfunctional Engel family who celebrate Christmas together, arguing the whole time, and they lose their Christmas spirit. So the youngest, Max, summons Krampus, and the family has to deal with it. There's a huge, terrible snowstorm where it leaves them pretty much trapped.
It's also PG-13, so the whole family can watch this one. Directed by TNT fave Michael Dougherty.
Yep.
And surprisingly dark for a PG-13 film. Like the violence is toned down,
I think
but the tone is
these,
not.
Actually, fams, I think these are all PG-13 movies.
Nice.
Not on purpose.
Happy holidays.
The next one is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh.
A classic, 1993. You can stream it on Prime and Apple, starring Catherine O'Hara and William Hickey. Again, amazing people.
R.I.P. King.
So this is a stop motion film. You all know it.
It's
probably.
a Harry Selick classic.
Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town, finds himself in a new world when he lands in Christmas Town. He tries to bring Christmas to his town with a Halloween twist.
It's funny you should mention this because Tim Burton in an interview very recently was asked about sequels for A Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, how come that's never happened? And he's like, that will never happen. No one's touching this. It's never going to happen. I mean, this is the guy who, he has made some sequels and they've been not good. Mm-hmm. And he very famously, he's doing Beetlejuice 2 now. But he was like, no, never. It will never be. This is its own contained thing. And I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Because it just needs to be a classic.
The last recommendation, also a classic, but also has terrible sequels, is Gremlins.
Shit, yeah.
1984. You can stream it on Prime and Apple, starring Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, and Corey Feldman. And it follows a family.
Also, William Hickey's in that one.
Yep. It follows a family who get a mogwai and don't follow the rules.
It's
and then
really
we're
the
introduced
story
to gremlins. They wreak havoc, kill innocent people, and attack the baby mogwais.
It's really the story of a young man who's told not to do 2 very specific things, and within minutes does both of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also watch the Gremlins TV animated show if you
I've
want
heard that
something a
was
little
really
bit more
good.
family friendly.
I think James Hong is in it.
Yeah.
As a voice legend. Yeah. Listen, in the new batch's defense, it does have Christopher Lee in it. So
yeah.
I have some love for Gremlins too.
So we'll be back in a couple of weeks.
You'll be okay, everybody.
And our next coming attractions episode for January we'll be back with our actual horror themed recommendations, because there's a lot coming out in January.
I have also some interesting news for January. Is we here at Tandem, we never stop working for you, the audience. We have secured some new sponsors.
We do.
And we're
have
very
a whole
excited.
slate of new sponsors.
Very excited to debut their tasteful and entertaining ads in the new year, and very excited about the buckets of money they've given us. We don't care if these products hurt you. We are in this for the money.
We didn't get any money.
We are in
also,
this
though, we are also going to be
money.
rolling out in the 2024 age a new author deep dive.
Well, have a very happy holiday season, everybody.
What are you talking about? We're going to be back in a couple of weeks.
Have a very wonderful fortnight, everyone.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Huzzah.
Perfect time to catch up on episodes you might have missed. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Suspanic. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening, and please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time.